Brazil's elimination in the quarterfinals of the 2024 Copa America brought back painful memories of 2015, when the Brazilian team faced a similar situation when they were eliminated by Paraguay on penalties. This defeat was particularly bitter, as it came at a time of recovery from the traumatic 7-1 defeat against Germany in the 2014 World Cup. In 2015, Brazil was under the command of Dunga, who had returned to his role as coach after the World Cup of the world with the mission of rebuilding the team and restoring confidence to the fans. The expectation of a new era under Dunga was quickly dashed. His tactical approach, considered outdated by many, failed to revitalize the team. The early elimination in the 2015 Copa America only intensified the feeling of crisis in Brazilian football. The scenario, therefore, was already one of distrust and uncertainty regarding the future of the team. In 2024, the elimination in the quarterfinals reignited debates about the team's ability to stand out in international competitions. Inevitable comparisons were made with the 2015 period, raising questions about management, player selection, and technical direction. Brazil, which has historically always been seen as one of the favorites in any football competition, faces a new cycle of self-criticism and the need for re-evaluation. The pressure on the coaching staff and players is immense. Fans, accustomed to victories and standout performances, see this elimination as a warning sign. Recent history shows that Brazilian football, although still rich in talent, needs more robust strategies and planning to face emerging and traditional powers on the world stage. The parallel with 2015 highlights the importance of not only rebuilding the team in terms of technical ability, but also renewing the mentality and tactical approach. The lessons of 2015 and the repeat of a quarter-final elimination show that Brazilian football must adapt to the sport's new demands, integrating innovation and tradition to once again become a dominant force. Thus, Brazil faces a moment of reflection and restructuring, where strategic decisions in the technical command, development of young talents, and the ability to adapt to the new dynamics of world football will be crucial to redefine the future of the team. Today, Brazil lives in a very similar context, with little hope. Many did not believe in Dorival's success, which was not CBF's Plan A or B. Plan A was Ancelotti and Plan B was Fernando Diniz. Dorival, who was called up to the national team and accepted, remains undefeated, as the penalty shootout defeat does not count as official. However, from a tactical and technical point of view, the team did not evolve. Dorival made some questionable decisions throughout the Copa America. The legacy of Copa America 2024 for the Brazilian team is practically non-existent, reflecting a disappointing campaign that left fans disheartened. Brazil's performance throughout the tournament was marked by games that were far below expectations, with the exception of the clash against Paraguay, which was more of an individual show by Vinicius Jr. than a convincing performance by the team as a whole. Brazil found it very difficult to create spaces and develop plays against teams like Costa Rica, Colombia, and Uruguay. These teams, the last two being the best in the tournament, showed physical and tactical superiority by denying space and complicating the movement of the ball for the Brazilian team. Costa Rica, traditionally seen as a lesser team in South American football, managed to frustrate Brazil with a solid defense and tactical organization that exposed the weaknesses of the Brazilian attack. Against Colombia and Uruguay, the situation was even more challenging. Both teams stood out for their physical strength, tactical discipline, and their ability to nullify Brazil's main offensive weapons. The Brazilian team seemed uninspired and without resources to overcome well-positioned defenses, showing a lack of creativity and an excessive dependence on individual moves. This lack of collective performance and the difficulty in imposing themselves against stronger opponents exposed the urgent need for a profound reassessment of the team's strategy. The tactical approach must be reviewed, seeking a balance between technique and physical strength, as well as greater versatility in attack. Brazil needs to find ways to adapt its playing style to overcome different types of opponents, especially those who can neutralize its main offensive strategies. The failure to generate a positive legacy at this Copa America is a clear sign that changes are needed. The technical committee must work to identify and correct the deficiencies highlighted during the tournament, promoting a renewal in the squad and adjusting tactical planning for future challenges. The integration of young talents, such as Vinicius Jr., must be done so that the team can function cohesively, enhancing individual skills within an efficient collective scheme. Dorival Jr.'s choices during the 2024 Copa America generated controversies and questions, especially his decision to select Endrick as a starter only when the situation became critical after Vinicius Jr.'s suspension. This choice contrasts with his previous statements about the need to be patient with the young player. The inconsistency between discourse and practice highlighted a lack of clarity and planning in the management of the cast. The Brazilian team faced great difficulties in moving the ball quickly, moving efficiently, and creating spaces against compact defenses. This lack of fluidity in the game was evident in matches against opponents who knew how to defend themselves well and impose a physical and intense game. The inability to overcome these tactical challenges exposed weaknesses in the preparation and execution of the game plan. Copa America semi-finalists, such as Uruguay and Colombia, demonstrated more organized and consistent football. Both teams, which were on the same side of the bracket as Brazil, showed longer and better structured work, reflecting continuity and a clear vision of development. These teams not only outperformed Brazil, but also showed how long-term planning can bring positive results. Brazil's campaign was marked by a lack of tactical alternatives. Against teams that played physically and intensely, the team was unable to find solutions to break the defensive lines and create scoring opportunities. The lack of creativity and the limitation in the variation of plays were critical points that needed to be addressed. Dorival Jr. will have time until the World Cup to work on improving the team, but he will face the challenge of undoing the image of an uncreative and tactically poor selection. It will be essential for him to develop a more dynamic game plan, capable of adapting to different opponents and situations. This includes integrating young players in a coherent and planned way so that they can contribute effectively without the pressure of resolving emergency problems. Preparation for the World Cup should focus on improving movement, the speed of ball circulation, and the ability to face well-organized defenses. The technical committee will need to deeply analyze the mistakes made in the Copa America and develop strategies that promote more cohesive and innovative football. We need to provide answers in big games, like friendlies against Spain and England, and in matches against Colombia, Uruguay, and Argentina. We will only emerge from this crisis cycle with medium-term results and work. It is a big responsibility for the current technical committee, which took on at a time of historic crisis. Tite's work, for example, was considered bad because he didn't win the World Cup. And, unfortunately, the perception of success in Brazilian football often comes down to winning important titles.